Hey, what's up, guys and gals? My name is Rick 9G. Thank you so much for joining me today. We're going to be talking about the 1970s television show Sanford and Son. Now, I've talked about the show before, but if you haven't seen it, go ahead and check out my Sanford and Son playlist, as well as my over 1,700 videos on classic TV shows that you will enjoy. Now, if you love what I do and you want to see more Sanford and Son and other classic shows, don't forget to hit the subscribe and like button. It is free to do so, and it does help my channel so much. Now, the specific episode that I'll be talking about is called Jealousy. It's from season 2. It's episode 4. Came out October 6, 1972. Now, in this one, Donna, who is at this time Fred's fiance, said she would be bringing a patient to dinner. Fred didn't expect this man to be sophisticated, spry, energetic, and strong. His name was Osgood Wilcox. All this hilarity ensues when they are, of course, jealous of one another and trying to win the affection of Donna. And this Osgood Wilcox is going pretty overboard in trying to impress Donna and even Fred that he is better than he is, until we see Fred Sanford say something crazy ridiculous. Now, I'll tell you what he said in just a little bit, but let me tell you a little bit about what happened when filming was taking place. Now, this information comes from Aaron Rubin. He was a show writer for this television show, and this is all according to him. Now, what's really interesting and something to note is that this television show was filmed in front of an audience that was watching the performance live. Now, while the show was not broadcast live, they used a 3-camera system, and then they had an audience behind those cameras that were watching the action almost like a play, and they would run and perform everything from beginning to end, like a 30-minute or so story. So a lot of this, when they would cut and when they would change scenes, was very quick. The whole show could be recorded in about an hour or even less than that sometimes, depending on how good the show was doing. Now, I'll have to tell you about the scene. The man who we're talking about is Mr. Osgood. That is the character he's playing. He's played by the amazing Roscoe Lee Brown, who's a prolific voice actor, and he was amazing. If you just listen to his voice, he has this deep baritone voice, and he did so many different shows, and he was just a professional. But you could see him pretty much snickering and laughing throughout the whole scene because Fred Sanford, Red Fox, is just absolutely hilarious, and it's hard to keep a straight face when acting with him. Now, again, I have to be very cautious when I tell you what the line is, but let me tell you what happened. So there was a scene where Mr. Osgood was essentially telling Fred and everyone else, trying to show off and saying that he knows karate. So he's doing these karate moves, and what happens is Red Fox responds off script. He responds with something impromptu. He essentially improv this line. Now, again, I'll tell you the line in just a little bit, but here's what happened. Everyone who was in the audience was so surprised to hear that they laughed for 6 full minutes. Now, if you watch the episode, of course, there aren't 6 minutes full of laughter in this episode. They had to cut it out, that is, the entire laughs, to fit the show within the 26.5-minute period. But when the show was over, someone in the audience asked the show writer, Aaron Rubin, if they would be leaving the line in to the show because it was so risque, so scandalous, so crazy at that time, even today, which is why I'm being very cautious about it. And Rubin asked the audience if they wanted it in the final cut of the episode. Now, the audience responded with a resounding yes, and so the line stayed in. Now, my question to you is the line still in syndication when you watch this episode? Do they even play this episode in syndication? I have it uncensored, of course, the entire episode uncut. But here's the line. The word that is pretty much very risque that you can't say nowadays, and even then was very risque, rhymes with bigger, B-I-G-G-E-R. It rhymes with that word. And he essentially says, this blank crazy. This blank's crazy. And so you can imagine what that word is. But remember, Red Fox said this himself about this man Osgood on screen, and it was impromptu. And the actor Roscoe, he kind of breaks character a little bit, and the audience just roars into laughter. And Lamont is awesome. He stays in character, but it's a crazy, crazy line that I don't know if you've ever seen this episode, ever knew this happened. This was one of the longest laughs in television history. I know a lot of people talk about the I Love Lucy laugh, but this is 6 full minutes. So I want to know your thoughts down below. Have you ever heard this story? Have you seen the episode itself? And have you heard this moment on camera? If you haven't heard it, if you haven't heard the execution and the delivery, it's just brilliant. Nothing could be replicated like this today. I'd love to know your thoughts down below. And I love doing this, bringing all this behind the scenes stuff to you that you may not have known. We'll see you all next time. Thank you for your support. And most importantly, don't forget to always stay positive and be hopeful. A really big thank you to all my Diamond tier patrons: Jerry D, Stacy L, Scott R, Citizen Kane 359, Jennifer P, David D, Kevin K, Sally N, and Vito L. If you want to be on this list or receive exclusives as a great way to support the channel, visit my Patreon description below. Thank you.